Hello everyone, welcome to the newest edition of Team Johnson Outdoors. In this episode, Kellen and I are going to be heading over to Green Bay to do some duck hunting, so stay tuned. Good morning everyone, we're back at it. Kellen and I walked out to the spot that we were hoping to get out to today. It's a nice easy walk actually. Right up that way is where we were yesterday. So we came down to that next point. Kellen's all hidden in there. And we've had a couple birds flying around already. I don't know if I said this already, but we have about 5 minutes till shooting. So we're gonna get locked and loaded and see what we can do this morning. Beautiful morning. All right, Kellen's going to get one he shot. And then we just had another one circle us. And I dropped that one. It's right over there. I don't know if you could hear. Hey, you're dragging a decoy. Hey, Kellen. Kellen, you're dragging a decoy. You're dragging a decoy. Good retrievers always drag decoys. I don't know if you could hear Kellen, but he said that's probably the nicest Drake Mallard he's ever shot. All right, he's gonna go grab that one too and get that brought in. All right, we got some guys in layout boats out here this morning too, and they just got some shooting. Ooh.
Nice big.
Yeah, look at those guys, huh?
Nice curls.
All right, there you go. Yep, got some curls. Nice. Sweet deal, huh, bud? Nice, paid off. Plan B paid off, baby. All right, the sun's gonna come up. It's gonna be right in our eyes, but not a whole lot we could do about that this morning. Kind of limited on the position that we could be in. So hopefully the birds work us more left and right, and we only have to look that way when we're shooting. All right, bird down. One swung in on Kellen's side and he shot, knocked it down. Now he's got to go track it down. Looks like it's not going to go anywhere there. All right, it's been kind of slow since the last report. We actually had a group of 4 hens come and work us, and we were standing up when they came in, so I think they saw us, and then they circled around a couple of times, but didn't end up finishing. But anyway, we'll take this hen. That makes 3 for the morning. All right, nice hen.
Yeah.
There we go. Good looking bird.
Better at shooting cripples than you are.
Apparently. Yeah, well, you gotta shoot them dead the first time, bud. All right, time for a snack. We brought our little 5-gallon bucket that has a lid on it. And what do we got in here, Kellen? Ooh, got some bacon. Nice. Got some cheese sticks, some crackers. Oh, got some goose sticks, of course. But I think I'm about ready for a soda and maybe some bacon. Huh? Soda and bacon? That sounds like a duck hunter's breakfast. Pup turned us on to this this bacon. It's already pre-cooked. Just have to heat it up. We don't really have a way of heating it up here this morning, so we're just gonna eat it cold. Cold bacon's better than no bacon.
But it is not better than warm bacon.
What was that, Kellen?
But it's not better than warm bacon.
Correct. But it's not as good as warm bacon. Thanks, pup.
Yeah.
Not too bad. So yesterday, Kellen and I, like I may have mentioned before, were in this same area with the boat, and we kind of got stranded. So that was not particularly great. We came up with this plan today, and I can't complain at all. Here's our footage from yesterday, including getting almost marooned in the muck. Today, Kellen and I are up on Green Bay. got some ducks working around, but just haven't had anything come in yet this morning. Well, Kellen, how goes the hunt so far?
Pretty good. Well, actually, I don't know about that. We had a couple problems this morning.
Yeah. The spot that we normally go, the water's so low it was hard to get back in there, and we tried, got the boat stuck for a while, and ended up getting it out. And then we decided to come down to a different area and saw some birds, so that was a good sign. Got set up. In fact, we even jumped some birds out of the spot that we got set up in, and we've seen birds flying, but we just don't have any that want to come in right now. We got the wind kind of in our face here a little bit, so that's not exactly ideal, but we do have enough of a little bay back here that if the birds wanted to swing around and land into the wind, they could swing on this end of the boat and come in. But so far, none of them have wanted to do that. So we're going to get some breakfast going here. Got some sausage that we're going to warm up on the cooker and have a little snack and see what the rest of the morning brings us. We are using our live well as our refrigerator slash
Goldeneye.
Woo!
This looking bird.
There you go. Tough little booger, huh?
Yeah.
All right, as I was saying before we got interrupted by that goldeneye, we've been using our live well as our cooler. So we've got some buns in there, some ramen noodles, some sodas, some string cheese, some goose sticks, Kellen, some other things. I got to dig my pan out of here so we can get that sausage going. Quick story about the live well, though. We got to this spot, and as we were pulling the boat in, I was telling Kellen, what is that sound? And sure enough, my knee or boot or something kicked on the aerator, and we were squirting water inside the live well. Luckily, all of our food is still in its original packaging and stuff, so hopefully nothing got wrecked or destroyed. But I also had the plug-in, so it filled up probably 3/4 of the way.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh man, we just got busted by 2 mallards. Jeez Louise. I'm never going to get the sausage cooked. But man, those ones were right there too. Probably the ones that we've had most in range, even closer than that goldeneye that we just got. Good news is the sausage survived the flooding, but our paper towel roll did not. Now we've got wet wipes, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, cooking with gas. Cooking with gas. All right. Let that warm up a little bit, and then we'll throw the sausage in there. Oh. All right. Cranes are still around. We did see one flock of mergansers too, so a little bit of everything. Kellen, how's your sausage?
Very good.
All right, we just had another bird. Looked like it was going to finish. Then it got close, and it didn't really flare. It just kind of didn't want to come in all the way. I mean, obviously, we're sitting in a boat. We have a blind on it. The blind looks pretty good. I'll show you the outside of it here in a minute. There's really nothing we can do about that. So we're I think we're gonna pull the robo duck and see if that's making a difference. Not really sure. So gotta try something. All right, we've had a pretty long stretch here with no action. And as Cal and I are looking around, we're beginning to think that the water might be dropping a little bit. It might sound goofy, but if you've hunted Green Bay before, you know that that is a possibility. In fact, a few years ago, we got completely stranded out here. Here's a couple of videos or a picture or two of that whole ordeal. It was a pain in the butt. Back behind us, there's that bigger rock, and then just to the right of it, there's a smaller rock, and I don't remember seeing that smaller rock earlier. And then out this way, past those two mallard decoys, kind of the middle of the screen there, there's another rock, and I don't remember seeing that one either. So we're going to keep an eye on those, because if we lose much more water, we already had to kind of walk our boat in here, and I really don't feel like dragging it. Oh, there's a bird up there. I don't really feel like dragging my boat. All right, well, I hate to say it, but it happened again. We were able to get the boat pushed out. We had to unload everything, didn't we, Kellen? So now we're gonna go back, grab the last of the stuff, and then get that back in the boat. Probably try to get a little bit more water under the boat, get a little bit further, and then we'll come back in and deal with the decoys. But we took the spare motor off, took the gas tanks out. Anything that weighed more than 5 pounds, I think we pulled out of there. Making memories. Oh my gosh. All right, here's the last load of our stuff here. I'm gonna grab that and whatever else I can carry. Okay, bud? All right, got all the heavy stuff back in the boat. I pulled the boat out probably another 30 yards or so, just to keep ahead if the water keeps going out. I'm gonna start on this end of the decoys and start helping Kellen get them all bagged up, and then we'll just drag them out here, and hopefully we won't have to go that much further that way before we can use the motor. All right, we got one bag picked up. Got a bunch more to go yet. I'm gonna drag these ones out to the boat and then come back in and help Kellen. I'll probably grab a couple of these decoys on my way out. I got this bag out to the boat. It's way too heavy to lift in here, so I'm just throwing decoys in. I'm gonna get some of these unloaded, get this bag in there, and go back and help him out some more. Kellen's quite the trooper. Holy buckets. No crying, no whining, no complaining, nothing. Just getting things done. Good job, buddy. When situations like this come up, there's no use complaining about it or pouting about it or feeling sorry for yourself. You just gotta push through and take care of business, even though it sucks. But I know the last time when we were stuck like this, there was no way we were getting out. We had to leave the boat out in the marsh for a couple of days, so that was no good. We were able to push the boat out here and kind of self-rescue in a way. I pushed the boat out further twice. I hope we have enough water under the float with all the extra weight back in there. We might have to push like 100 yards or so yet. We're under power. Got Kellen up front, adding a little extra front weight. Oh, 80 pounds of them. How much do you weigh these days? 140? Oh, perfect. I know I only weigh like 100 pounds, so 40 extra pounds in the front. Got the motor trimmed up quite a ways, but at least we're not pushing. Good job, buddy. All right, we got the boat on the trailer. We're done for the day, so time to head back to the hotel and relax. Actually, I kind of lied there. We're not going to head right back to the hotel. We're going to go down to a couple of the houses near where we were hunting and see if we can get permission tomorrow just to walk out from their places, and then just carry out a dozen decoys or something and do something in the morning. But I think we're both probably about done with taking the boat out and possibly getting into the same situation that we got into this morning. Yeah? Yeah. So we're going to figure something out, right? We're here. We want to go hunting. We just don't want all the rigmarole that we had today. So stay tuned for updates or for us to be out in the morning. All right, we just stopped at a couple of houses. No one was home at the first one, but a guy was home at the second one. It's a house near where we were hunting, and he said that we could have permission to access the shore from his property. So tomorrow morning we'll take a limited amount of gear and walk out from his place and head to that same area where we were today. We saw lots of birds there. Maybe not having the boat blind actually will be a benefit. So we'll just get up in the pickers and see if we can maybe snatch up a couple mallards or something before we have to call it quits. So thanks for sticking with us today. Stay tuned for more tomorrow. We'll look at our spread this morning. Just got about 10 mallards out. We didn't carry a whole bunch in here because we didn't want to have all the extra weight. But we got our duck butt squirter. Earlier it moved down. I thought maybe it was because of the waves. I don't know, well, you can see this, but you see that little trail? Either as it's been blowing by the waves, it's made this little, almost like a snail trail. But you can see along here how far it traveled. Oops, someone's old shell. Pluck that out of the water quick. Not one of ours, but anyway, you can see the trail up here from where it came from. I'm going to try to step on the weight and see if that'll help keep it in place. But anyway, there's Kellen up there. Not too bad. A little spread. All right, there's our birds from this morning. The DNR this year issued a warning on eating mallards out of Green Bay. Anything south of Longtail Point, you're really not supposed to eat any of them. And north of Longtail Point up to about Marinette, they're advising that you only have one meal of mallards per month. So the mallards in this area have PFAS, which is like a plastic chemical in them. I'm probably not explaining that right, but anyway, the PFAS levels in the birds have been documented. So with that being said, we usually don't ever shoot mallards when we come over here. We're usually going after divers, but now that they've got that warning, of course, what are we shooting? Mallards. So we'll take these, turn them into jerky, maybe hold on to them, put them in meat sticks or something. I'm not ultimately too worried about it, but it is something to be aware of. Just like with mercury and fish and things like that, they have these warnings out there. You just got to kind of take note and know that it's a possibility. I know last week they had a hearing in Wisconsin about a proposed crane season. I don't know where it went and what they've got to figure out yet, but lots of people are in favor of it and lots of people aren't. But there sure have been a lot of cranes around here. So the last couple of mallards that have worked us to our left. So Kellen and I are spread out here a little bit to see if we can maybe get some pass shooting as those birds are working that area to our left. They just don't seem very interested in coming into our decoys. So we're going to adjust and see if we can maybe get one or two here. We only have about a half an hour before we need to get going. So kind of a last Hail Mary shot here, but it's worth giving it a go. All right, we just had 2 land past Kellen. He's going to try to put the sneak on him. I'm going to sit here and watch. Maybe record. All right, Kellen had a chance at those mallards, but no dice. He's going to stay over there. I actually came back over towards the decoys here because after he shot, those ducks flew right over where we were, of course. I suppose you've heard of a wild goose chase. Well, I think we're currently in the middle of a wild duck chase. But got another 20 minutes or so, so we will ride it out. See what we can end up with here. All right, the water's going out again. So you can see some of our decoys are just sitting on the bottom. But we got to pick up and get back. So we'll get these all wrapped up and then we'll do a quick recap back on shore. There they are. 2 Drake Mallards, 1 hen, a bag full of decoys, a bucket full of food, shell box full of odds and ends, couple guns, 1 teenager wearing blaze orange. It is the opening weekend of Wisconsin deer hunting, and we have to walk in through this way. So just to be on the safe side, we're going to have a little orange on. But Kellen, what do you think? How about the weekend?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's the duck right here. Anyway, it was a pretty good weekend overall. A little bit of a show yesterday, but we managed that. Went to plan B, did what we could, and ended up getting a few this morning. So as always, you can't complain about that. We never do much complaining. It's just nice being out, spending the weekend together. But that's going to do it for this episode of Team Johnson Outdoors. As always, thanks for watching. Stay healthy. And Kellen?
See you next time.
Yep, we'll see you next time.